Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome to the second video of today. Today's video being the second video being the NBA regular season schedule breakdown. We're talking Pelicans, we're talking Hawks, we're going to talk Christmas Day, we're going to talk opening week on ESPN as well. There's a lot we got to get to in today's video regarding the NBA. But first, of course, if you guys are new to the channel, obviously be sure to like, subscribe, turn that bell on. We do our best to post on the channel every single day. Most of the time, we do 2 videos a day. That's kind of just how we roll here at the Sports Lover. So, you guys are into content. College football predictions week is next week. We're going to talk record predictions, Heisman Trophy winner, conference championships, all of that stuff next week, as well as play our College Football 25 and Madden franchises as well, like we normally do. So, with that being said, you guys are new to the channel, obviously, like, subscribe, turn that bell on. Let's go ahead and hop right into breaking down the NBA schedule. So I'm just going to go ahead and start off with the New Orleans Pelicans schedule here for the 2024-2025 season. I'll do Pelicans, Hawks, and then I'll talk about the NBA on ESPN opening week schedule, and then I'll talk about NBA on Christmas Day as well. So for starting off with the New Orleans Pelicans, we have our first home game versus Chicago on October 23rd. Then you go November 4th versus Portland. November 19th is at Dallas. October 25th is going to be at Portland as well. 27th is going to be at Portland. At Golden State on the 29th of October. 30th is going to be at Golden State as well. Taking on Golden State twice, which is crazy to me. November 1st, November 2nd, I believe, is Indiana, and then Atlanta. Then you come back home to face Portland November 4th when you have I believe, about a 2 or 3 game home stretch versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then you have, I believe, Orlando, excuse me. Then you have Brooklyn at home on the 11th of November at OKC versus Denver on November 15th versus the Lakers on November 16th. That might be the game to go to, and I'll talk about that one in a second. At Dallas, November 19th, November 20th, you're at Cleveland versus Golden State is the 22nd. November 25th is at Indy versus Toronto, November 27th. November 29th, you are at Memphis. December 1st, you're at New York. 2nd, you're at Atlanta, which also is going to be a really fun game. It's going to be DeJounte Murray's return to Atlanta, which I will talk about that one in a second as well. December 5th versus Phoenix versus OKC on the 7th. On the 8th, you're at San Antonio. On the 19th, you come back and you're at Houston as well. December 21st, you're versus New York versus Denver on the 22nd. The 26th, you're versus Houston. That's the day after Christmas. Do not get a Christmas Day game again. Versus Memphis on December 27th. December 30th, you're at home against the Clippers. The Spurs, you're at the Spurs on New Year's Day. January 3rd, you're versus Washington. January 5th, you're at Washington. January 7th, you're versus Minnesota. January 8th, you're versus Portland. January 10th, you're versus Philly. And that's going to be a very fun game to watch and to go to as well. At Boston on January 12th, might get our asses kicked on that one. January 14th, you're at Chicago versus Dallas. The 15th, 17th, you're at versus Utah. And then the 20th, you are also versus Utah as well. Going into, I believe, March, because they do have that kind of all-star game break, I believe, as well. Actually, no, they don't. Here we go. Going into February with this one as well. February 3rd, you are at Denver. February 5th, you're also at Denver. February 8th, you're at Sacramento. February 12th, you're versus Sacramento. February 8th, you're at Sacramento. February 10th, you're at OKC. And then February 12th, you are versus Sacramento. February 13th, you're going to be versus Sacramento again. A lot of Sacramento in the February, which is crazy. February 21st, you're at Dallas. February 23rd, you're versus San Antonio. Versus San Antonio on the 25th. 27th, you are at Phoenix. At Phoenix again on the 28th. At Utah. At LA on March 4th. Then March 6th, you come back home and you face Houston, which I do want to go to a Houston versus Pelicans matchup just because, number 1, it's in the division. Number 2, it is also Jabari Smith and the Rockets, so that's why I want to go watch that. And then number 8, I believe, or March 8th, you are at Boston as well. Then we get in the later part of March. March 9th, you're versus Memphis. March 11th, you're versus LA. March 15th, you're at San Antonio. March 17th, you're versus Detroit. March 19th, you are at Minnesota. at Minnesota again on the 21st, at Detroit on the 23rd, versus Philly on the 24th, versus Golden State on March 28th, which is going to be a fun one, versus Charlotte on March 30th. I believe it's one of the only times we play Charlotte. And then, of course, then you get into April. On the 2nd, you're at LA. On the 4th, you're at LA. The Lakers that time. You're at the Clippers the first time. April 6th, you're versus Orlando. April 8th, you're at Brooklyn. April 9th, you're at Milwaukee. April 11th, you are at home against Miami. And then you close out the year on April 13th against Oklahoma City. Again, very long piece of information right there. Not sure if I'm going to do that for Orlando. We may just talk about some of the key games. But key games for this New Orleans Pelicans team. You are versus Milwaukee, I believe, in April. Golden State coming to town twice is going to be interesting and fun. And a key piece of information for you guys, we do not host Boston this year, which is going to be absolutely hilarious, in my opinion, that we have to go to Boston twice this year. Dallas, I believe we host them 4 times this year. At Atlanta on December 2nd, I don't think we host the Hawks as well. So that is the only time that my two teams are going to be playing each other, which is good. But with that said, it's a tough outing for New Orleans as well. Not a lot of road games, not a lot of home games. We will see how all of it shakes up. But now let's talk about the NBA on ESPN's opening week. Moving on to opening week on ESPN. 4 games on the ESPN networks. Let's go ahead and talk about them. Number 1, the opening matchup is October 23rd. At 6:30 p.m. our time. It is the Bucks taking on the Sixers in Philly. This game is going to be a fantastic game. I'm expecting Giannis and Joel Embiid to go at it all game long in this one, and I'll talk more in depth when time rolls around. But this game is going to be fun. Up next is Suns versus Clippers, Battle of the West on October 23rd at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 9 p.m. our time as well. That's the doubleheader. And then the doubleheader on that Friday is the Pacers-Knicks at 6:30, which will be fun. Jalen Brunson versus Tyrese Halliburton, I believe. And then the Suns versus the Lakers, KD versus LeBron, going at it at 9 o'clock on that Friday. 2 really important matchups. When I think about it, it's the Bucks and the 76ers, and then the Suns and the Lakers. Those games are kind of going to set the tone for the rest of the year on NBA on ESPN. So that is the opening week. Let's go ahead and close out this video with the NBA on Christmas Day games and talk about them. Moving on to the Christmas Day games. That, of course, there's 4 games on Christmas Day. Actually, 5 games, excuse me. Here we go. Christmas Day games. The first one being the Spurs at the Knicks. The second one is the T-Wolves at the Mavericks. 76ers at the Celtics. Lakers at the Warriors. And then to close it out, the nightcap, the Nuggets at the Suns. Gonna be fun. Lakers, Warriors, of course. LeBron versus Steph in this rivalry. We saw how them two played at the Paris Olympics. Could not get any better. With that said, Nuggets Suns is gonna be a good one as well. In the early cap, Spurs and Knicks, Wembanyama is going to be playing lights out by then. So we'll see how the Knicks or the Spurs shake up against the Knicks on that one. T-Wolves at the Mavs is going to be interesting as well. And then, of course, the rivalry of the all rivalries, the 76ers at the Celtics at 2:30. It's going to be a fun day on Christmas Day. Once again, give me your thoughts on this slate in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on. We do our best to post on this channel every single day. I'm going to close out this video here and get this edited so you all can watch it on time. Just wanted to give my thoughts on the Pelicans schedule, talk about the Christmas Day game, and opening week on ESPN. But that is where I'm going to close it out. Thank you all so much for watching, and of course, I will see you all in the next video. Peace.